As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million. As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $5 million. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $0.
Another look at the day when the jury came back in Fairfax County, Virginia, agreed with our 13th juror, and agreed with, like, I don't know, several million people on TikTok that Amber Heard defamed Johnny Depp. That was the award. Now, since that has happened, you know there's been a lot of movement in court, and Amber Heard filed a motion with the judge trying to get this whole thing thrown out, overturned, new trial. And a lot of it had to do with juror number 15. Take a look. Filing in the courtroom saying the information on the jury panel list appears to be inconsistent with the identity and demographics of one of the jurors. Juror number 15 was apparently born in 1970, not 1945, as reported to and relied upon the parties, including Ms. Heard, in selecting a jury panel. Given the requirements for verification of each juror, it appears the identity of the juror was not verified. It is unclear if juror number 15 was in fact ever summoned for jury duty or qualified to serve on the panel. This warrants an investigation by this court to determine if the juror was in fact summoned and whether the due process rights of the parties were bypassed. Depending upon the results of the investigation, this may justify setting aside the verdict in its entirety and setting this matter for a new trial. Well, Johnny Depp and his team responded. Ms. Heard's desperate after-the-fact demand for an investigation of Juror 15 based on a purported error in his birthday at 40 is misplaced. Ms. Heard waived her right to challenge the accuracy of the information listed in the jury panel by failing to raise this objection contemporaneously. Ms. Heard has shown no evidence of prejudice or injunctive, and therefore her belated argument regarding Juror 15 should be rejected. And now, the ruling of the judge. Any error in the information shown on such copy of the jury panel shall not be grounds for a mistrial or assignable error on appeal, and the parties in the case shall be responsible for verifying the accuracy of such information. Consequently, defendant, as well as plaintiff, had an affirmative obligation to ensure the accuracy of the information provided for the jury panel. A party cannot wait until receiving an adverse verdict to object for the first time on an issue known since the beginning of the trial. The issue has been waived. Another loss for Amber Heard. Let's bring in the think tank. Eklund Mercy, Brian Weiss, Kirk Nern is still with us. Brian Weiss, was that a sour grapes motion?
Boy, I don't know if it was a sour grapes motion. It might have been the proverbial Hail Mary motion. Look, that judge called Amber Heard's lawyers out like punks. Make no mistake about that. I've had the privilege of lecturing for years on trial objections. I'm actually going to go to Dallas with one of your Thursday night regulars, Carmen Rowe, who may be watching at home tonight, to speak to a bunch of lawyers about this very topic. Look, you can't lay behind the log and sandbag the opposing lawyer or sandbag the trial judge. It is, I understand, Virginia precedent. You have the duty, the obligation, the responsibility to do your own homework, to recognize the fact that if they brought this guy in from off the street, it was contingent upon you and not anybody else to make sure that the right guy was on the jury. But at the end of the day, guys, everybody's familiar with the harmless error rule. It's not just enough that there is a legal mistake or that it was properly objected to. It's got to be prejudicial. And this judge found, make no mistake, that that error was harmless. And at this point, Vinny, I really think that Amber Heard makes the New York Jets look like Bill Belichick's dynasty at this point.
Don't mention his name. He left the Jets. He was the coach. He left. He left.
I think I may be in the old people's home by the time Amber gets a W.
All right, well, another loss for Amber Heard, but Kirk Nurmi, is Johnny Depp ever going to see a dime from her? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. That is the question, right? That is the $8.35 million question. And one of the things, we hear this idea that she might be having a book deal. She's going to keep telling her story. We saw her go on the Today Show and make very other appearances where she seems to want to keep advancing this. So if she does go with a book deal, there's a good chance that he might get, his money's worth, so to speak, out of this. But again, she's the one who seems to be entangled in this mess. He's off playing music, seems to be having a great time. He's not worried about those those dollars she owes him, but she just keeps digging a hole worse and worse for herself. And whether he receives money out of it or not, I don't know. But heck, he's certainly winning in every other way possible.
All right, Eklund, let's talk about this talk of a book by Amber Heard. I always hear about these books. No one's ever offered me a book deal, right? I need to get a book deal because $15 million. What? First of all, would it be appropriate to pay off a defamation judgment by writing a defamatory book? One. Two, who's going to read the book? More importantly, who's going to buy the book? And number three, if I go to the bookstore to buy it, do I go to the left to the nonfiction department or do I go to the right to the fiction department? Please answer.
Oh, this is all bad. You can't solve a lie with a lie. So I do not know if the book will reveal her trying to lie or her trying to get over Johnny Depp, then that will be that would be an interesting read. I will buy it. Like, if you're going to tell me how her and her lawyers fought in the jury, fought in court, or how she prepared for trial, then I believe that she'll have a case. But I don't see who's going to buy this book, especially after a 6-week trial in which we learned so much about Johnny Depp and so much about Amber Heard that I never really wanted to see or hear. This book is not necessary because we have 6 weeks of just straight content. I don't see what she's going to do with the book. She definitely has to pay this money. I believe that the attorneys may, I don't know about Johnny Depp, but it may end in an agreement. They may come to an agreement, maybe in the middle, something like $7 million, because she has to come up off all of the money because she lost fair and square. The judge was patient with both sides. We have two legal teams that are not small change. I'm talking, they have hefty retainers with investigators and all of that. If you knew that a potential juror, if that juror was supposed to be 50, but if that juror was supposed to be 80, but he looked 50, at that moment, you were supposed to object, and they didn't. So that is on them, and Amber has to pay.
Maybe they just thought he had good skin. I don't know. By the way, I've got the name for the book. If I Did Tell the Truth. All right.